Okay, welcome. This is the March 15th regular meeting of the North Shore Board of Fire Commissioners, and our first order of business is going to be roll call.
Good afternoon. Commissioner Admin.
Present.
Commissioner Pratt.
Present.
I don't see Commissioner Byers yet. Commissioner Webster.
Here.
Commissioner Woolham.
Here.
Chief Morris.
He's just connecting.
Yes. I see him. He's still connecting his audio. Chief Cowan. Don't see. Legal Counsel Matt Paxton.
Here.
I don't see our City Council members Philippa Cassover or Nigel Herbig, and I'm Board Secretary Amy Oakley.
Thank you, Amy. Any public comment this evening?
No advanced public comments, but if anyone would like to make a public comment, you can unmute yourself and raise your hand.
Okay, seeing none. Item 3, approval of the meeting agenda. I'd accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye. Okay. Agenda has been approved unanimously. Our next order of business, executive session. Amy, can you read us the appropriate language and dismiss us for, we're going to start with 20 minutes.
Okay, we are going to move into executive session for 20 minutes pursuant to RCW 42.30.1404 to discuss collective bargaining, and pursuant to RCW 42.30.1101I to discuss with legal counsel potential litigation. It's 5:03, actually 5:04. I'll pause the recording, open a breakout room, and we'll return at 5:24. Chief Morris.
Yeah, question is, Chief Cowan, welcome in the executive session.
Yes, that would be fine.
I think it would be appropriate, but I want to get your feedback.
Is he with you? I don't see him in the.
He's at station 51 where he's on the phone with Zeb. We're having some technical difficulties in our committee, in our meeting room. So
Okay.
I ran in the office here, so I'll bring him in.
Okay, great. Well, it's 5:05. I'll go ahead and pause the recording and open the breakout room. Good evening. The board has extended their executive session by 10 minutes, and also it will be pursuant to RCW 42.30.1101G to discuss the performance of a public employee. It's 5:25. I'll pause the recording and they'll return at 5:35. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. As we transition out of executive session, we're going to add one item to our agenda as a result of our discussion in executive session. That is to address an update to Interim Chief Morris's contract. And I believe we have a motion that's going to be made.
Sure. Do we need a separate motion to just add that to the agenda or as an item? Okay. Okay, then I would like to move that we approve an amended employment agreement for Interim Chief Morris.
Commissioner Webster seconds.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll now take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye, it's unanimous. Thank you very much. All right, moving on. Item 5.1, conversation with local 2459. We have a representative here who's interested in speaking.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Chair recognizes President Ingersoll.
All right. Thank you very much. Just a couple of things I want to talk about. We held a breakfast for the 4 retirees that we had this month at Station 51. We were able to honor them. We had lots of former retirees show up. It was a good event. They had their last call through dispatch, and it was a good send off for those. And then just also wanted to say local 2459 participated in the stair climb that was held this last weekend. Over 2,000 firefighters from across the world came up, climbed the Columbia Tower. We had, I believe it was 11 of us that climbed. One of our members, Matt Langbein, finished in the top 30 with a phenomenal time of like 15:30 something. So it was good. And we also had Chief Morris participate in that as well with us. So it was good to see him out there. And I guess now the expectation is that the chief climbs with us every year. So Chief Cowan, we look forward to next year. Thank you. That's all I have.
President Ingersoll, are you willing to announce in public meeting Chief Morris's time?
He finished, and that's huge. I know he's been busy and probably not a lot of training, but
28, baby.
there you go.
Sub 30, that's perfect.
30, there you go.
Yep.
Age adjusted on first place, I'm pretty sure.
Agreed. All right, but that's all I have. Thanks for the time.
Excellent. Thank you, President Ingersoll. All right, item 5.2. Actually, I'm sorry. Commissioners, any questions for President Ingersoll while we have him? All right, seeing none. Item 5.2, update from chiefs on battalion chief position.
Yeah, thank you. We're going to tag team this one as well. Start off with, we've had a lot of discussions, both Chief Cowan and myself, Deputy Chief Ned Curvis and Foster, in trying to guide this whole process successfully. And we think the battalion chief position is one of many important positions, but from the leadership perspective, we want to do it right. And so we've, as we've discussed before, kind of front loading at the beginning so we can get operations and the appropriate leadership in place. So our plan moving forward is to run Battalion 151 and 161 until the end of the year of 2022. And then we will start the transition process into the 1 BC model through attrition. And we have a template. We still have more work to do on that, working with labor and more operational decisions to be made. But into 2023, we are looking at running Battalion 151 as a daytime unit and take it out of service at nighttime and begin the transition from there. We'll have a lot more information by then. We'll know if there will be additional attrition at the BC level and how quickly that can take place. And we'll also know how well we are integrated operationally later this fall. So that gives us the time we need to make those decisions. Anything to add, Chief?
Just, we know that this is not exactly, as quickly as we were hoping, maybe to do, but this does set it up for success. There is some culture issues that we want to make sure that we're integrating both departments, appropriately and respecting both sides, and one of the big lifts is with telestaff that's already been mentioned before, and making sure that we're, again, setting up for success. We are anticipating that there will be some vacancies coming up next year, but the full attrition will take a little bit longer than expected. which means, and that's one of the reasons why we're bringing it back to the board, is because there won't be as big a savings as we had, projected, but this does set us up for better success moving forward. One of the things that would occur is that we don't necessarily need that district chief as much, because we would have the battalion chiefs here to represent what's going on with the culture of North Shore and integrating and all that. So there would be some savings. It wouldn't offset everything, but it would be a little bit of the savings through the rest of this year, not having that position staffed.
All right, thank you, chiefs. Questions from the commissioners? Okay, excellent, thank you. All right, item 5.3, an update from the blending committees, and put Chief Morse on this. Is there, that got passed down to a firefighter or a company officer?
The blending committee, well, actually, can we go back to the last thing? Are we okay with our plan moving forward? Because everybody's very anxious about being able to talk about this. I just want to make sure that the North Shore Board is okay with our plan with the BCs.
Commissioners? Commissioner Webster?
I have to take a look at it, and here again, we're part of the negotiation for our contracts, and that is part of the projected savings we have. And I know, like you said, we talked about having a carryover chief services and BC. So I got to take some time to look at that and see what the numbers punch out. And right now, I didn't hear from Chief Cowan how long this transition time would be to get down to one. You say it's a float time, but we need to know some sort of timeline so we can incorporate it into our costing model for the new contract.
Right. The one problem with that is just knowing exactly who's going to be retiring and so forth. As it stands now, we have currently one BC position in North Shore as a vacancy. There might, I'm told that one of my BCs will be putting in for next year. There might be a second one actually for next year as well. So I don't know if we'll be able to get there by the middle of next year. But I think we might be down to just one heavy. I don't know if there's anything in North Shore. I think we might be at one heavy, potentially by the middle of next year. Certainly, I think we'll have, a couple of vacancies. So we'll start getting the savings. It's just so it won't be the full savings. I can't tell you for sure because I don't have letters of intent to retire, with exact dates.
I think, I'm sorry, Commissioner Webster, I think one of the points of maybe miscommunication or lack of clarity here is that at the meeting that you didn't attend in, was it late January, early February, the balance of the board gave the chiefs the leeway to make decisions about the BC position that were in the best interest operationally for the new organization. And recognizing that we wouldn't achieve the full savings until probably sometime in late 2023. But there was some concern about making that decision too fast and transitioning down to one battalion chief in too much of a hurry, that it would negatively impact how the organization operated and oversight on major incidents, et cetera. So yeah, that's where we're at. Anything else to add to that, Commissioner Webster?
Well, I agree with that. I did read it, and listen to the tape, the one I missed. It's just a matter of, if that's what we got to do, we got to incorporate it into our, when we get the numbers for our final contract, incorporate that in. So, and we set some sort of goal that by the end of 2023, we're down to what we expect, or if operationally that's what we need to do. But we need a deadline in there, or some way of tracking it. So anyway, that's something we can talk in the negotiation later on. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, back to item 5.3. Anything from the blending committees?
They do, they're doing a bunch of great work. They've come up with some, what I would call TAs or tentatively agreed to items. We're kind of waiting for the ILA to get done. That gives us authorization to actually implement a lot of these things that are kind of in the peripheral right now, as far as, the CBAs, policies, things that have to be negotiated. And is also the trigger for doing some of the other behind the scenes work that are more HR related, as far as, getting information on benefits and DRS, L&I, employer type stuff. And so, but the blending committee is doing some great work on the negotiable items between the unions. There's been a bunch of collaboration. I don't think there's anything that's really out there. It's a deal killer. Probably one of the bigger issues is probably the vacation blending. We're still working through how to integrate. We have two different models for how we accrue and use vacation. And so we've got a couple of really good ideas, and I think we just need to finalize it. And I've had very little time in the last couple of days, at least, to get with Doug Lozier, my union president, to work on that. So, but I think we're close on a lot of the big things. There's nothing out there that seems to be a big, barrier or challenge. We're just continuing to work through all the, issues as they come up.
Thanks, Chief. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? It's encouraging that things are moving forward. I feel like progress is being made. There's no major obstacles. Not that there aren't obstacles, but that nothing that is unsolvable.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, seeing no other questions or comments, we'll move on. Item 5.4, update from the negotiation team. Amy?
Just want to announce that Commissioner Byers has joined the meeting.
Excellent, thank you. Welcome, Commissioner.
So I'll jump in on this one, Commissioner Pratt. We've had ongoing discussions and meetings with the negotiation committee. And right now, I think we just handed over the current revised ILA to Chief Cowan and his group. And we have another meeting tomorrow. So it's progressing, and we're coming down to needing to look at dollars and cents now. So that's what I got at this point.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Paxson or Chief Morris?
I'll just echo what Commissioner Webster said. We have achieved agreement on almost all of the terms. We're now kind of talking primarily about financial terms. Some of the other terms have affected the financial terms. And so now that we have clarity on those other terms, we are, Shoreline's in a better position to give us numbers to match what we're asking exactly and what we've all agreed to. So meeting tomorrow will tell us how close we are, but we're on track. I think everyone's discussed June 1st as the official deployment date, but it's likely we'll have agreement before then.
Yeah, it's great. My hope is, and I think I share this with Chief Cowan, my hope is that after tomorrow, I would hope that we'd be able to perhaps have a special meeting next week to further discuss moving forward with this versus waiting until the next scheduled regular meeting.
I would kind of second that. I haven't had a chance, and thank you both, Commissioner Webster and Matt for sending over the ILA. Yesterday and today has been completely filled with Chiefs chat, and so I haven't had a chance to really dive into it. But I did skim through it pretty quickly, and it seemed like we were very close. I do need to get some numbers together, and so I have to do some work, and I'm hoping that maybe tomorrow morning I can get that work done so that, when we meet, maybe we even get it done tomorrow, at least in draft form. And then we can schedule a special board meeting, maybe a joint board meeting, for us to discuss it with both boards, and try and get this done.
Excellent. Thanks, chiefs. Yeah, just be sure to let us know so we can get that that special meeting on the books. Commissioner Adnan.
Oh, I just had a question about what the, so it sounds like we're anticipating that might be as early as next week.
Possibly, yeah. I'm hoping if I can, I got to carve out some time, and maybe I can do some work tonight when I get home to try and go through what the email that I got and double check that. But mostly I think, as it was already said, I need to get the numbers together so we can put those in and agree to them. And if we can get there tomorrow, then maybe next week have that joint board meeting, or maybe have another meeting next week to finalize it, and then a joint board meeting later next week or something like that. I don't want to rush through it. I don't want to make any mistakes, but at the same time, the ILA is the catalyst for us doing a lot of this other work that's kind of out there. And so, the sooner that we can get the ILA done, the better off we will be moving forward.
All right. Thank you very much. Any other questions concerning the negotiation? Okay. So small caveat, items 5.5 and 5.6. The discussion on these probably won't be terribly robust until we have an ILA. So I just want to take them, and if there's a comment or a question or something that you'd like to bring up concerning either administrative activities not covered under the contract, or let's just take it one by one. So 5.5, administrative activities not covered under the contract. We do have a subcommittee. Anything to report there?
No, again, the ILA will determine what we have to cover afterwards, and we'll have 4 to 5 weeks to figure out what that is and move on. Thank you.
Copy. And item 5.6, there's been some discussion and consternation about the name and rebranding, and so I just wanted to kind of let people know that that's on our radar, and if there are any commissioners that wish to address that in today's public meeting, now is your opportunity.
I guess I would just say, hopefully we can get input from various parties on what they would like to see or what they feel is important. My personal perspective is that, the shoreline patch is going to go on the uniforms, that, we can take feedback from people, what they want to see on the stations and the apparatus for the time being. So I don't think there's any urgency to that discussion right now.
Okay. Chiefs, you wish to step in on that issue at all, or nothing to report?
I would just add, it's obviously something that's been talked about, but the feedback I've received from my board is that until we have an ILA and we're actually moving forward some of the stuff, we don't want to really, let's not talk about it right now until later on, and once we're really committed to going forward.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Item 5.7, discussion of return to in-person meetings. I've asked Mr. Paxton to give us a brief update.
Yeah, so I think it's helpful to look back a couple of years. The rule in Washington is that open public meetings need to occur in person. The commissioners 2 years ago, they could call in or attend a meeting via video as long as everybody at the meeting could hear them. But there's really no requirement for the district to have a call-in option for your board meetings. COVID hit and everything changed, right? At that point, there was a proclamation issued by the governor, which is still in effect, that says that first it says you could not have public meetings. And then he changed it to say you can have in-person meetings as long as you provide a call-in option for the public. And that proclamation is still in effect, although it's temporary in nature. I know that the legislator is reviewing legislation that would kind of make that more formal, so that going forward, there'll always be call-in options, perhaps even video options for the public to attend these types of meetings. We're at a point right now where you can return to in-person as long as you provide a call-in option. They encourage but don't require video options for people to see the folks who are attending. But it's open. There are no restrictions on the capacity. There are no restrictions on physical distancing. As of March 12th, there are no restrictions on mask mandates. So you don't have to require anyone wear a mask at those meetings. But if the district could, if it chose to, require masks to be worn during those open public meetings if they're occurring in person. So that's there's a lot of options at this point. We don't know exactly when you're going to be required to come back in person, or at least have an in-person option. But I also think that is eventually going to be the case. The online only option is currently still available, but that's not going to be something I think that will last unless the COVID conditions change.
Okay. Is there any interest from the commissioners in returning to in-person meetings prior to a change in the mandate? Commissioner Woolham.
I would like to see us do that, but I also feel really strongly that we also should be able to call in if that makes other people more comfortable. But I would like to see the option to meet in person.
Commissioner Byers.
Yeah, I agree. Going back to in-person meetings, I think would be a good thing to do. And the sooner we can do it, I think the better. I would love to see the option though, seeing as we've got 3 firefighters on the board, having the ability to call in at times when we're on duty and stuff like that is real good. So if we could keep the Zoom option, I think that'd be excellent, but a return would be in my favor.
Commissioner Webster or Commissioner Admin, anything to add? Commissioner Webster?
Yeah, I don't mind coming back into in-person, but I don't know if we have the technology set up to do a Zoom meetings at our, if we're in person, how we set that up for Zoom meetings. So we'd have to have somebody get into that.
Commissioner Admin?
I'm fine with an in-person meeting as well. I think we just got to make sure that people are able to adequately participate and hear what's going on. I think sometimes when you have a Zoom meeting that's the microphone's at some distance, then people who are attending the meeting virtually can't hear it very well. So I think we just need to make sure we have our technology dialed for both options before we implement it.
Chief Morris, is that something that you can address for us, figuring out the technology necessary in order to have an in-person meeting that also has a virtual component?
We've invested in those microphones and those seem to be working fairly well.
Yeah, I certainly will. I'll work with Zeb. I know Shoreline's got some options that work for them. It's a little more sensitive than this microphone here. So we should be able to make that happen, especially since the next meeting's April 5th.
Excellent. Yeah, just, report back and, I think maybe tentatively looking at the first meeting in May as an in-person meeting. Does that seem reasonable to other commissioners? I'm seeing nodding heads.
Go with that.
Okay. Chief Morris, does that seem like a reasonable timeline?
Yeah, that should be good. That gives me ample time to find some solutions.
Excellent, thank you. Okay. Anything else to add there? Thoughts, comments, concerns? All right. Item number 6, we have no board resolutions. So we'll move on to item number 7, our consent agenda. Chair
Make a
would accept
motion
these.
that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Excellent. Is there
I'll
a second?
second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Excellent. That's unanimous. All right, moving on. Item number 8, reports. Fire Chief?
Yeah, thank you. Report was submitted, and I just want to highlight a couple of important items on here. First and foremost, I think one of the most important and most enjoyable things the fire chief gets to participate in is promotions. To see people that have been working extremely hard reap the benefit of that in the form of a promotion. And we had a few this month, these last couple of weeks. That I just want to acknowledge. Battalion Chief John Burrow and Anders Hansen were both promoted hard-barred into the battalion chief position. John came out of training, so we needed to fill our training captain role, and we filled that with Captain Brian Ford. Brian left the company officer ranks as a lieutenant on A shift. That position was filled with Lieutenant Travis Ross. He was an acting lieutenant in the academy, still is in the academy. So he's now a hard-bar lieutenant. And finally, Lieutenant Joe Heilman. He's replacing Brian Ford on A shift. So A51 is Lieutenant Joe Heilman, and Travis Ross is still in the academy. So when he comes out of the academy, he'll be going to D shift. So congratulations to all those guys. And I will plan probably April 5th for something a little more formal, or maybe that first meeting in May when we get back to in person, where we can go through the formal promotion ceremony with spouses and family at the regularly scheduled meeting. So congratulations to those guys. Moving down into the operations area, fire benefit appeals deadline was March 4th. Jennifer Kunkel has done a lot of work on this for us. We had 17 appeals, of which 11 were approved. 10 were for sprinkler discounts, and 1 was a senior discount. The remaining 6 were mostly people appealing square footage, where they had not taken into account square footage of unfinished spaces or garages. So overall, very smooth process. Something to bring to your attention as well. We had a minor accident with our newest engine 151, the Pierce. Unfortunately, there's a driving through Bothell Way going under the, I believe it's the 102nd Avenue Bridge in Bothell. It necks down and the narrows, or the lanes get very narrow. The engine got boxed in, and they ended up folding in a mirror and putting some scratches on the side of it. So fortunately, nobody was hurt. There was only some minor damage to the engine, but even minor damage, the expense is coming in just under $7,000. So ironically, the engine was on its way to Hughes Fire to get some warranty work done. So we continued to bring the engine down, and the repairs are getting made right now. So I wanted to make you aware of that. One other item is we are due for our WSRB rating in June, and this was something that I was aware of, and was keeping in contact with them as we progressed through this ILA. I spoke with them again today and made them aware of what was happening, and WSRB recommends that we just roll right into Shoreline's evaluation, which is taking place in August. So I communicated with WSRB and with Deputy Chief Steve Taylor of what they recommend, and so it should be a seamless transition. So that's something off my plate, so I'm excited about that.
It's not necessarily off your plate.
And lastly, I spoke with NUD today, because another one of the things is NUD has done a great job for us maintaining our apparatus. And I want to make sure that whatever we do in this transition, they're treated fairly. So I had a conversation with them, and also speaking with Deputy Chief Taylor in Shoreline. We're most likely going to start out with a slow transition with engines only going over to fleet maintenance in Shoreline, and NUD will continue to take care of all administrative vehicles, aid cars, and whatever else our needs are here. And through the remainder of 22, this is just conceptual at this point, but I wanted to run it by them. And I was speaking with Steve, who runs the fleet maintenance. Have not yet spoken with Al Nelson, so we're going to have that conversation with Al and see if this works for him as well. The ILA that we have with NUD, there's a 30-day release clause, so I want to make sure that we're well beyond that, and we can work together to make this transition whatever is best for us and them and Shoreline as well. And that was it for my updates. So any questions on the fire chief report?
Commissioner Byers, is your hand being raised there?
Nope.
No, okay. All right, Chief, I had one quick question. I always make a point of checking the box that shows automatic aid received and automatic aid given out, and have noticed that in the last two chiefs reports, the normal balance is that North Shore provides automatic aid out to Shoreline and Bothell roughly at a rate of about 2 to 1, but that has been flipped on its head this last month. And I was just wondering if you had any explanation or ideas about why that's happening, what's going on there.
So yeah, it's a good observation. So automatic aid in for Bothell versus out for Bothell, we usually go into Bothell 3 or 4 times more than they're coming into our district, and sometimes even more. So that hasn't changed. The last couple of months, I have noticed Shoreline's been coming into North Shore about twice as much as we've been going into Shoreline. I don't have a good explanation for that because as far as I know, nothing has changed on the run cards or apparatus locations at stations. But it certainly has been consistent the last 2 months. Shoreline's been coming in at least 2x what we've been going into Shoreline. Yeah.
Unless it's been maybe bigger calls where there's been more apparatus needed. I don't know. We didn't change anything.
Yeah, neither of the agencies have changed.
It might just be an anomaly even.
Yeah. It's been far, I've been watching that for a long time. I used to create those reports for Chief Magnuson, and Shoreline and North Shore have been closer, have been more similar, and we give more 1 month, they give more 1 month, or come in. But it's consistently, we are going into Bothell 3 or 4 times the number that they come into our district. It's been that way for a long time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I misspoke, and I was looking at the Kirkland numbers, I think. I'd gotten flipped. I said Bothell, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the one thing that I have noticed with Kirkland, not that there's a lot of calls either way, but right along the border, we've experienced more of the gas calls, the majors and the minors, and there's been odor of gas in single family residences that get upgraded to a major response, and that has sent us into Kirkland, but right on the border, and them into Kirkland into our jurisdiction as well. So we have spoken with Norcom about that, and I think part of it is an education for some of the new dispatchers, but there's also been some more recent tweaks to the run cards for the majors and the minors and the gas calls. So in regards to Kirkland, that's one that I found interesting, but we are talking to Norcom on that. I think there's an education component with dispatchers.
all right, thank you. Any other commissioners with questions for Chief Morris? Okay, seeing none. Any reports from commissioners? Okay, legal counsel, Mr. Paxton.
Nothing to report today.
Excellent, thank you very much. Setting of future agenda items. Anything outside of our standard list? Maybe an update from Chief Morris on the status of the technology needed for return to in-person meetings. Okay, anything else? All right. Seeing none, I would accept a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Seconded.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye. It's unanimous. We are adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Take care. See you next time.
Good night.